now we're at the time where the Hamashiach is getting ready to come.
And hidden riches of secret places, that thou mayest know that I am the Lord.
Last words, brother.
Shalom, shalom, ma.
All right.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. All right. Shabbat shalom, Yasharel, and happy Pesach, as they say, happy Passover.
That's right. Shabbat shalom, Israel. About to get it in.
Yes,
Hope
sir.
everybody's having a blessed Passover meal. Let's get ready to get it.
Yes, sir. Me and Brother Eitan, we decided to do it this way because we already prepared the lamb. We had the grilled lamb. Oh, man, the bitter herbs and the unleavened bread. So, every year when this comes around, let me pull a calendar up so you can see. Now, Sherelle, there's been a lot of work that went into this calendar, years and years. So, we just want to say, and we're honored to be able to have and working on the fifth calendar that the Most High has blessed us with. This is our fifth calendar, Yasharel. Can y'all believe it? Can y'all believe it's been 5 years? So, but that's only a fraction. All right. 5 years is only a blink. And we know that it's gonna take a minute before a lot of our brews really get onto this, because this calendar requires really you to study, because all the works are shown throughout this calendar. So now I'm gonna scroll through all the months real quickly, all right, and just show you, like, anyone, any brothers and sisters that you share this with, all they got to do is take the precepts and study them. All right. And we got a whole year's worth of lessons on our channel that break down the calendar, that explain, how we got these dates, the scriptures that was used. And we even, like, me and Brother Eitan, we sat down, y'all. We sat down, and man, we did like the calendar like 10 to 20 years out. And the calendar always resets itself like every 5 to 6 years, because of when the equinox sets and everything. The way the Gregorian calendar is, it's always adjusting, because they use what do they go by, the 360 days? Is it up? 64, 65? No, they go by 365 days, right?
365 days. That's
365. Right. So it always throws that day off. So that's why, like, when you have all when they be doing their holidays, especially the Easter thing, and our people be following after them, it's always off by 10 days. That's why the brother that's going off the new moon for the feast is gonna be off like 10 days, give or take. And this is why, we took much prayer and study, and Most High says study to show thyself approved, and we also have to show our work so that you all can won't be confused in order for you all to study. So this is why we do what we do. So we want to thank you all for sticking with us, for sharing these lessons in the past. And look, continue to encourage your people, continue to teach them, your children, continue to teach them how to keep the feast days. If you got like nieces and nephews that like to stay with you, when they're over, invite them over for the Passover, invite them over for the feast, and teach them how to keep the feast at a young age. All right. Brother, you got anything you want to say before we go to Leviticus?
No, man. Just basically just dealing with the calendar. I think it's imperative, Brother Daniel, we usually open up with Jubilees, the first chapter, right? And then we talk about how we're supposed to follow the ways of the Most High. We don't want to make an unclean day, right? Absolutely. A holy day, right? And this is why it's important, and it's really pivotal to our salvation, right? To get these days right, man. Like a lot of camps and everything like that, they don't like looking at the other books, right? Because they feel that, probably it puts pressure on them, right? Puts pressure on them to do more than what they're already doing. Man, you have to be right about salvation, right? It's about truth. The whole thing about salvation is about truth and faith. So that's why it's important, right, to study, to show thyself approved in the scriptures and be able to break down the things so you can bring back the days of your ancestors, right? Bring back the days of your forefathers and to be able to copy correctly the ways that they were doing it, right? So you can be in holiness, right?
That's right.
And that's the reason why Brother Daniel and myself, we've put a lot of time in this, and we would want everybody to follow this calendar, right? Pass it out to everyone, right? And even try to also, if you got any brothers and sisters that are in camps, you know, well, maybe just to convince them just to look at it, right? I can guarantee you that this calendar right here, you can do it 1,000 years out, 100 years out. It doesn't matter, right? Our New Year's, every single year, it starts on Sunday, which is the first day of the week, right? The Most High, he did not stop in the middle of the week. It's 364 days, 52 weeks of perfect 7, right? So we're going to always, we're never going to skip around. You don't have leap years or anything like this. The calendar always stays in season. You're always going to celebrate your feast days on the same day every single year, as it says in the scriptures, right? This is why it's important you don't go off the new moon. Right. Sometimes in a year, you have 13 new moons. Right. So what are you going to have, a 13 month in a year? No, where's that in the scriptures? Right. So you have to automatically be able to study these scriptures, obtain knowledge and wisdom to know a false doctrine and know when something doesn't make sense. Right. So that's why it's imperative to go by this. Right. I mean, no matter what's going to happen. Right. You're going to have the spring equinox and the what is that? The spring equinox and the on the fall equinox, right? They're always gonna 6 months and 6 months on the calendar will never deviate, maybe three days at the most, right? But it'll always, every 5 to 6 years repeat and land right back on the exact equinox, right? As it should. Right. And this is how you know that this calendar is 1,000% correct, because it doesn't matter how many years you go out. You can go out 1,000 years, 10,000 years. The calendar will always be right. And why this is right? Because this is the calendar that our forefathers had. This is the calendar of the Most High.
That's right. And the laws are our birthright. It is our birthright. That's right. This is what we've been saying all this time. And it is our duty. It is the whole duty of man to keep the commandments, and that's why we even challenge you. Take this calendar, study it, break it down. If you find something, or if you think there's something in error, bring it to our attention. Because we want people to challenge themselves to study this, and we got to get out that mode where we just take anything that we see. And a lot of these brothers out there that's putting out these camps going off the new moon, they're not even showing their work. They're throwing stuff out there, Yasharel, and expecting you to just eat it, take it as it is. They don't show their work. They don't show where they got it. They don't tell you why they're going off the new moons. All that matters, but nobody questions them. You know why? Because nobody wants to study. Nobody wants to really dig deep. And when I say nobody, I'm talking about collectively. All right. We know that some of our people are really sincerely deep diving and doing some studying. But a lot of our people are just following blindly. It's like the blind leading the blind. And on top of that, these boys are out here selling these calendars, out there selling false doctrine, and that's just beyond wicked, And so that's why when me and Brother Eitan tell you to study these scriptures and everything, we truly mean that, and it's up to you, Yashua. You have to put in the work, because if you just taking anything that you see as facts, then our people are going to be easily deceived. All right, we don't do that on this channel. We're not going to easily deceive you. We're going to challenge you to study. You may hear us repeat things a lot, but it's for the fate of rehearsing the righteous acts, because we already know what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a stiff-necked people, just like the scripture says. So we have to keep drilling it. We have to keep crying out. Spare not, show Israel their trespass. All right. So we're going to continue to blow this trumpet no matter what. All right. So with that being said, everybody should already know, if you study the calendar, you have the verses for the Passover. But I wanted to bring out something right quick. So let's go to Leviticus because I got a couple of emails. Someone kind of wanting to explain what it means, what does servile work mean. So let me go ahead and I'll read this right quick, and then I'm going to pull out something from the Strong Coordinates. All right, so Leviticus 23, 7 and 8, it says in the first, well, let me start at verse 5. It says, in the 14th day of the first month at even is Yahuah's Pecach or Pesach, or the Passover. All right. This is the day. So many of you, depending on where you're at, I know some of you are have already started your Passover. If you're watching this from the UK, those who are on California's time, you still got another hour, I guess, before the sunset. All right. So we're in a different time zone. So it says in the 14th day of the first month at even is Yahuah's Pesach. And on the 15th day of the same month is the Feast of Matstsah unto Yahuah. 7 days ye must eat matzah or unleavened bread. All right, which many of you should already have. Verse 7, in the first day ye shall have a holy assembly. So sunset today at even the 14th day of the first month starts the first holy day. So in the first day ye shall have a holy assembly. Ye shall do no servile work therein. All right. Now let's go to verse 8 because it's going to tell us again. It says, but ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahuah 7 days. In the 7th day is a holy assembly. Ye shall do no servile work therein. All right. So let me bring up the calendar right quick. And let's look at Passover. So see where, okay, see the Hebrew days in black. You have the 14th day of the first month of Abib. All right. It stays the same. Just like Brother Eitan was saying, it stays the same every year. It never changes. The only thing that changes is the days on the Gregorian calendar. But the Hebrew days was always going to be on the same. It's always going to be on a Shabbat even. All right, at sunset. So the first day from sunset on the 14th to sunset on the 15th is the first holy day. Then the 7th holy day is going to be the last day. All right. So those are the 2 holy days. So when it says thou shalt not do any servile work, let me show you what it says in the Strongs. So you have an idea of what servile means. All right. And I know some of you know what it means, but I want you to see it with your own eyes. All right. Can y'all see that? Can you see that, brother?
God, that's clear.
Okay. So labor, service, labor, work, labor, servant or slave, labor, services. All right. So when you work to make money, or if you're working to do a business for someone to make money, that's servile work because you're providing a service.
That's right.
All right. So you got to treat it just like a Shabbat. The only difference between the feast Shabbat and the weekly Shabbat is that the weekly Shabbat, you cannot cook on the Shabbat, let alone work on the Shabbat, all right, nor have sex on the Shabbat because it's unclean. But you can do things around the house. You can fellowship, you know what I'm saying, on these feast days. But you just can't do any kind of work for service or anything providing service or making money or exchanging of money.
All right.
Now let me prove that to you right quick. Let's go to Amos chapter 8, because I'm going to show you that you cannot work on the feast days, new moons, whether it be a feast day or any kind of feast Shabbat. You cannot work. All right, Amos chapter 8, and let's look at verses 4 and 5. Let me highlight that right quick. All right. So it says, hear this, O ye that swallow up the needy, even to make the poor of the land to fail, saying, when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell grain? Y'all hear that? Why would they want to sell grain? Because they couldn't do it on the feast Shabbat. They couldn't do it on the new moon. That we may sell grain, and the Shabbat, that we may set forth wheat, making the ephah small and the shekel great. So these boys think about money. They was ready to get it in, and they couldn't wait for the new moon to be over with. And falsifying the balances by deceit. So when it says that, when it says and falsifying the balances by deceit, these boys is probably charging usury. Man, these boys are probably charging all kinds of interest.
It was cooking the
on their
books.
brothers. Oh man.
Was just cooking the books.
Yeah.
Wickedness.
So I just wanted to show you that on don't matter what feast Shabbat it is, you cannot work, buy, or sell, or have sex, or kill anything or living creature on the Shabbat.
God. Hey, you know what? To add to that, about killing any living creature, that's another reason why you couldn't cook. Right. That's another reason also why you couldn't cook on the Shabbat. You know, they didn't have refrigerators and things like that back in the day where they packaged up meat for long periods of time. So usually a lot of their food was fresh. They killed them that day and they stewed them up. Right. So it wasn't like we were storing meat like we do nowadays. Right. A lot of the meat was like fresh. They go to open markets. They got a lot of fresh kills and fresh food. So that's why you weren't allowed to cook during the Shabbat, because you weren't allowed to kill things either.
Yep. And then, you got to also think about the kind of work that you have to do, because you got to gather the wood, kindle the fire, all that stuff. So, and that's why that the Friday was always the preparation day. That's the day that you prepare your stuff. So that way, when Shabbat comes around, you don't have to cook anything. It's right there. You all you got to do is just grab it from whatever, and go to work on it. So the Most High always had a system in play for our people. And man, these feasts that we have, all right, we have 7 feasts throughout the year. That's not to include the weekly Shabbat and the new moons. So man, we have a plethora of feasts that the Most High has blessed us with, and it's such a beautiful thing. So our goal, I know me and Brother Eitan, our goal is to push these commandments as hard as we can, because that's, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Like, really, nothing else really matters. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because think about it. If you're obeying the commandments, everything else is going to balance itself out. Me and Brother Eitan was talking, man, like even with our friendship, we see a lot of brothers that fall out. Well, why do they fall out? Because they're not keeping the commandments. They don't know how to they don't know how to discern the spirit. They don't know how to keep the commandments.
God. And
these boys always have a selfish, they have that self-ego, selfish agenda. It's always about me. You can't, when you keep the commandments, that mindset is totally abolished. You can't operate like that.
God.
So when it comes to keeping the commandments, it teaches us so many things, and it balances out, and that's why, like, even the heathens, man, that's why they know that if they can get our people to constantly break the commandments, they can keep us in bondage, because that's what's keeping us in bondage, is the breaking of the Most High's commandment. That's why when me and Brother Eitan, when we're doing our regular lessons, we always read Jubilees, chapter 1 in those verses. So that you all can see, hey, this is why we are constantly in bondage, and it's always comes down to breaking of the commandments. Think about it. I mean, now it's just too obvious. What you got?
Well, just like the camps and Christianity, right, and all these other different religions. The reason Brother Daniel and I would never have a falling out, right, is because we keep the commandments, like he was saying before.
All
right?
praises.
Yeah, to each and every one of you brothers and sisters, right? There should never be a feeling of discontent between the brothers and sisters if everybody's keeping the commandments, because just like Hamashiach says, like the 2 greatest commandments, one is you're putting the Most High first, right? The Father above everything, right? You're not worshiping anything else that's above him. And 2, right, you're treating your brother like you want to be treated. That right there alone, that simple commandment right there is why Brother Daniel and myself, we get along so much, right? And me and any other new brothers that I meet, right? Only kind of thing that can creep up in our people's heart, right, is if you're not keeping the commandments. Also, right, don't forget to keep the faith in Hamashiach, the Son of God. Right, to keep the faith in Hamashiach, the Son of God, the great mediator that brings our prayers, right, to the Most High, to the Father, right, because it's a great order, right. The order is the Most High, the Almighty, the Ancient of Days, right. Then the mediator is Hamashiach, right. So that's why when we pray, right, our prayers go to Hamashiach, even though we're praying to the Father, right. They're filtered through the Hamashiach, right, because we don't really know the true, whatever it may be, or how you're supposed to really approach the Most High God, right? So we have to be thankful that we have somebody like Hamashiach that's a mediator, right, for our prayers and for our sins, right? Or lest we can be destroyed, immediately.
That's right.
Right, and then so from then on, we have, we have man, and then we have woman, right? So the Most High, He has an order with everything that He does. Right, so as we come into the faith, right, after we come off this Passover, right, what is this day in remembrance of? Right, we have to remember this day is when the death angel, right, passed over all the children of Egypt, right, all the Egyptians, all the firstborn, man, beast, cattle, right, and killed every single one of them. That right there, how to let the heathens know that God does not love everybody.
That's right.
This is why they try to get you mixed up with, Easter bunnies, and they call it Easter, right? They don't tell you that it's Passover, right? They have you, they have you mixed up with, having Easter egg hunts, right? How the hell does a bunny have, laying eggs, right? They get you mixed up in the folly, but they don't want you to really concentrate on what the truth is, right? What do those firstborn children do? The beast even, right? They didn't really do anything. That ought to show you right there that God, the Most High, He makes things for His pleasure. Luckily, children of Israel was made for His pleasure, right? For an inheritance even to His firstborn son. So that's why it's imperative that we have to remember who we are, as a people. We have to come back to the laws, statutes, and commandments, because the Most High, He sent a death angel out to kill all the folks, just to make a point. It's like, look, y'all gonna let my people go, right? I'm gonna show you what I can do. That I don't care about everybody. I only care about you. That's the true moral of the story.
And what's so crazy about that, man? So tomorrow is the heathens. They celebrate their pagan Easter. Now that's the day that everybody and their grandmother and their dog is going to be in the churches tomorrow on Sunday. Now peep this. Now the enemy is smart because they know that our people are so caught up in the heathens' holidays, and all it would take is some crazy man to go into one of these black churches or even white churches where a lot of white people are sitting there and start shooting up the place. Think about it. But yet our people are out there worshiping false idols. And if they were to die, whether some crazy man came in there shooting up the place, that's it for them. They're gonna get the pit. That's the next thing they're gonna see. Why? Because they're sitting up in some white man's church, worshiping some doggone false holiday, thinking that they're worshiping the Most High, and their life is just gone, just like that. It's getting worse, y'all. Like I guarantee you, like these churches are going to be filled to the brim. And guess who's going to be front and center? It's going to be our people. That's sad, y'all. And that's why, that's why me and Brother Aton constantly, it's like, look, y'all, come on, man, wake up. Like, how hard is it for our people to see the truth? That's how you know that Christianity is such a strong delusion.
That's all right. It's wild because they're gonna have Pastor Pork Chop. He's gonna be telling them, "Come on down for the pork sandwich in the basement." They're gonna have them going down to the little cafeteria area, right? They're gonna be feeding you pork, and you don't understand that you're supposed to be eating lamb, right? Standing up, girded with your staff in your hand and your sandals on your boots on, ready to get up out of here, right? That's the tradition of our people. right? You know, the Passover it's a serious time. It's not a time for you to be dressed up in frilly clothes, spinning around, having dancing, right? People died, right? The
Yep.
firstborn children were sacrificed,
Yep.
right, for our deliverance. Right. The Most High said that we had to, you know, hold down a lamb for 14 days, kill it, right? And then what do we do with the blood? Put it on the doorpost, right? Put it on the doorpost in order to what? The death angel to pass over us, right? That was a signal for the death angel to pass over us. You know, I'm pretty sure that there was some wicked ass niggas that didn't put the doggone blood over the post. That was just probably not even written about, because you know how Israel is. Look at our people right now. You know how Israel is. You probably got some that just thought that they were just going to get by and not do everything that the Lord told them to do. And that's how our people are today. Right? So this is a serious holiday, right? This is a serious holy day for our people, right? For us to recognize the truth, right? And how far the Lord is willing to push it for our people to be saved.
Yeah. And when you think about the feast days, you start with the Passover, the first feast of the year. You know, that blood that blood that they had to put over the post, you know, was to protect Israel. It was about deliverance, because it was coming to an end of Israel's captivity, that they would be delivered. That's why it said to eat bitter herbs. Bitter herbs is supposed to represent the harsh bondage that our people went through in Egypt for all those years. And so when they and that's why there's a reason why the Most High do things. All right, there's a reason why we had to get the lamb, all that. Now, of course, you know, we're not gathered into one place like our forefathers were back in Goshen, but we are gathered to the four corners, and we are commanded to practice these righteous acts even within our captivity. Now, if you don't believe me, you gotta go study the children of Israel during the captivity of Babylon, because they still kept the laws, you know, with all their heart, mind, and soul. So this, like brother Eitan said, man, this is a very important, because it represents deliverance. All the feast days, in some form or fashion, represents deliverance of our people. All right. The next one we're going to have is going to be the day of Pentecost. All right, the outpouring of the Ruach, the Holy Spirit. So this is why we are commanded, because it said throughout our generations. When it says throughout your generations, that means we don't stop doing that. All right, even though we may be under the captivities of our enemies. But where did it ever say we had to stop keeping the commandments just because we're under the captivity of our enemies? You're not going to find nowhere in the scriptures where it tells us to stop keeping the commandments just because we're under the thumbs of our enemies. All right, we're in captivity because we refuse to obey the Most High in the first place. And once we start waking up and realizing and crying out, like it says in Jubilee chapter 1, verse 14 through 16, nothing's going to happen, because our people are not crying out right now. You know, our people getting the sisters are getting their finest dresses together, getting the boys' suits together. Never had a suit in their life. Man, they getting ready to go into these pagan churches tomorrow and eat some pork chops and listen to Pastor Pork Chop tell everybody that the laws are done away with. That's what they're getting ready to do. Speaking in tongues and all kinds of crazy mess.
Wickedness.
Yeah.
Hold up, Israel.
And these, you know, these feasts, they are our birthright. It just blows my mind that our people would rather celebrate some pagan holidays of people that beat the backs of our forefathers, all kind of manner of stuff, that you turn around and you front and center to celebrate their feast days like it's gravy on rice. I mean, that's crazy. And all the signs and all the truths and the wonders the Most High showed us. you know, out of set records, out of set volumes.
Well,
Wickedness.
well, Israel, you know, we have a situation where we got these people that claim to be us, right? I'm not going to say who it is, right? But y'all know who we're talking about, right? We got these people that claim to be us, you know, these folks, right? These folks right here.
Oh,
right?
put it on the screen. I don't think it's on the screen.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, we got the we got these folks that claim to be us, right? And the funny thing is that right now they're going through
the ish people,
right? So right now they're going through a conflict right over there. But see, they're begging other nations for help, right? That does. When does that ever happen in the scriptures? Right? That does not happen in the scriptures. Never, not one time. Right? The Most High is always given the power to Israel to win. Right? Whether he does it himself with 10 plagues, or whether he grants the power amongst the sons of the 12 tribes to overthrow the enemy. Right? We saw what the brother Judas did against the Maccabees. Right? Mm-hmm. Brother Samson, right? Brother David, their ancestors, right? They don't look like these people, right? And just to show you, right, this is how you know these folks, they go by the new moon. Their calendar isn't right. And see, the sad thing is, the scriptures in Jeremiah 10:2, it tells you to what, right? Don't follow the way of the heathen, right?
That's right.
By following the way of the heathen, right, and you go these other calendars or whatnot, right, they copy the same way of the heathen. Look at these folks. They can never be the true children of Jacob, right? They can never be from the true children of Jacob. So here, right, I got a picture for you guys, right? I want to show you something, all right? You see that right there, right? Those are the, this is a painting, right? You know what I'm saying? This is a painting of one of the walls of the Egyptian temples, right? Now, what do we notice here, right? We notice that their phenotype, right? Their phenotype is they have melanated skin, right? They have melanated skin right here, right? This is their phenotype. Now, I'm going to show you something else. Give me a second, all right? Let me put this on the screen. Boom. Boom. All right. Now, in the Old Testament, right? In the Old Testament, we had Moses. We had Brother Moses in the Old Testament, right? And Brother Moses, when he was a child, right? When he was a child, he was cast down the river to be camouflaged, right? Sent him up the river for him to be found by one of the Egyptian women, in order for her to adopt her and for he to be raised up as their son, which means that what, right? He had to resemble, right? He had to resemble what? He had to resemble this particular phenotype, right? A child of dark skin. Now, if you didn't know, Moses, he came from the tribe of Benjamin, right? Which is a Jew, which would be considered a Jew because we have 3 tribes of Israel that make up the Jews. Right, we got Benjamin, right? We got Judah, and then we got Levi, right? So those are the 3 tribes that make up the southern kingdom of Israel, right? So listen, let's go up, right? I'm gonna read a couple of verses right quick, right? And it says, "And there went a man of the house of Levi, and took up a wife of the daughter of Levi, right? And the woman conceived and bare a son, and she saw him, and that he was a goodly child, and he named him." He was a Levite. I hope I said that Moses was a Levite, Salakia, right? He was a goodly child, and she hid him 3 months, right? So the mother hid him for 3 months, and when she no longer hid him, she took for him an ark of bulrushes, and dabbed it with slime and with pitch, and put the child therein, and she laid it in the flags by the riverbank. And his sister stood afar off to wit what would be done to him, right? So the sister was spying to make sure that he was all right as he drifted down the river. And the daughter of Pharaoh, right? Okay, the daughter of Pharaoh came down to wash herself at the river, And her maidens walked along the riverside, and when she saw the ark among the flags, she sent her maid to fetch it. And when she had opened it, she saw the child. And behold, the babe wept. And she had compassion on him and said, "This is one of the Hebrews' children." All right. Then said his sister to Pharaoh's daughter, "Shall I go and call thee a nurse of the Hebrew women, that she may nurse the child for thee?" And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Go." And the maid went and collected the child's mother. Right. So understand this: Moses' mother actually rose him up, right? Nursed him up. Right. So he knew that he knew that he was a Hebrew. Right. So this is why he also knew who his brother was, his brethren were in the land. Right. And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Go." And the maid went and called the child's mother. And Pharaoh's daughter said unto her, "Take this child away and nurse it for me, and I will give thee thy wages." And the woman took the child and nursed it. And the child grew, and she brought him unto Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. And she called his name Moses, because she said, "Because I drew him out of the water." All right. Now I want to go over, right, and I want to let me go over to chapter 1, right, so you can see exactly what was going on right here. Let's go down to the very end. Right. It says why this is important to understand this, right? So we know that that Moses, right, his phenotype would have been similar to this right here. Right. Because he was able to fit in. Now this is the Moses is the leader, right, that carried us out of Egypt with the hand of the Most High behind it. Right. So why this is important, and how we know that Moses had a dark skin complexion and not a pale one, is because, right, it says, "And he said, when ye do the offense of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stools, and if it be a son, then she shall kill him, and if it be a daughter, then he shall live." Right. And so we know that the Pharaoh was causing for all the male children of all the Hebrews to be drowned. So in order to hide her son from being killed, she would rose him up right under the nose of Pharaoh, right under the nose of Pharaoh. Right?
That right there says a lot, because it tells you that they looked alike. They couldn't tell.
God.
That's why she was able to raise him like that.
That's right, God. Right. And that's really important there. Right. And that's just a few, you know what I'm saying? That's just a plain common sense situation that you can look in and you can detect, and when you can know that these people that claim to be you, right, they're not you.
That's right.
It's real simple, right? The scriptures even tell you in Revelation that they're not you. It says, "I behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Yehudim, and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before your feet, to know that I have loved you." And notice that it's specific, right? It doesn't say that Israel or the 12 tribes. It says Yehudim, right? Which is the Hebrew word for Jew, right? There's only one people on earth that call themselves that, and they are not. The scriptures even tell you themselves. This is why they are against the New Testament, right? They are really truly against the law, statutes, and commandments. They make up their own doctrines, right? They can't even get the calendar and the feast days right.
Yep, the Most High has it hidden from them. And think about, and just to add on to what you were saying about the, because Moshe, he was a Levite, all right, but yet all the 12 tribes look just like the Egyptians, because they were black. They look like Negroes.
God.
All right. When Hamashiach was a baby, why do you think that the father sent them to Egypt instead of somewhere else? God. Because again, he blended right in. Wouldn't even know the difference. And that's how you know that these Ish people are just are full of it. And time is going to tell, because right now they're having war over there right now between Hamas, and that ain't going to end no time soon. And the Most High is he's slowly revealing their true nature, and he's getting ready to show the world that these people aren't it. I mean, really, the only people who really believe that is the West and the United Nations.
That's right.
Because they were the ones who set them up over there in the first place. It was the United States and the UN, Everybody else, they know that those people over there are imposters. So,
God, right? We know there's no such thing. Like, you know, all in the scriptures, Isaiah 11:11, Cush,
mhm.
all of the places where the Israelites are going to be gathered from, the other 10 tribes, right? They're from the dark continents, right? They're from the
That's right.
dark, you know, they're from the continents where you know, the humans, they have nappy hair, right? They don't have that kind of hair. Right. So, you know, we just got to come to understand that we must, you know, reclaim our heritage. Right. You know, they might laugh about it. Now they're telling people that there's all kind of Jews, Ethiopian Jews. Oh, yeah, man. Why are you telling people that? Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the spread out tribes of Israel is over there. Right. We know what time it really is. Right. We know who our people is. Right. So, you know, grasp hold of the truth. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Grasp hold of the knowledge, statutes, and commandments. Right. We can't let these heathen outdo us. Right. We can't be. Notice we're always on Front Street. Right. There's a, you know, in the scriptures it talk about, you know, how the heathen they feel justified to beat on us, right, because we're not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Why do you think you don't have your language anymore? Why do you think you know nothing of your past or who you were before you came here? Right. You go to any school, right? Even your kids today, right? They go to the school of the heathen and they tell you what you want to know, right? You don't know nothing beyond slavery. You don't know anything
Mm-hmm.
about who you are or where you came from. What were your holy days? What were your customs and the things that you were supposed to do, right? You
That's right.
come here and now you have been stripped of everything. And they tell you, hey, you know, don't worry about it. Strap your boot tights up. There is no such thing as systemic racism. Are you kidding me? Right? The Mexicans, they still
Mm-hmm.
have their own language. They still have we don't have our own language. Hell, we don't have our own last name. All right. Do not be taken in, right, by these people, by these politics or anything like that. This is why it's important for us to cling to the truth. And the
That's
only
right.
thing that is the truth is these laws, statutes, and commandments in the faith of Hamashiach. Right, that he's
Yeah,
going
I
to
want to
come back
bring
to
some.
deliver us. Go ahead.
That's right. I want to bring something out right quick. So, you know, Isaiah 11:11, if you read Isaiah 11:11, 11 and 12, it tells you the places where the northern and southern tribes are. Now, if you look and study the places that the apostles went and traveled to, it's these same places. Like Brother was saying, with dark skin, you know, Negroes, Negro people. All right. And now the heathens know that our Elohim, our Abba is black. They know that. And this is why, you know, our God should look like us. And they have enough sense to know that they need to create a God that looks like them so that they can deceive the whole world. Now I'm going to show you who their God is because they got the whole world worshiping that thing. All right. They know that this is their God right here. His name is Cesare Borgia. You look him up, that's the image that they use. But the word Jesus is derived from Zeus. Zeus. So anytime a lot of people are calling on that name, they're calling it Zeus and don't even realize it. And see, this is how the enemy works. But a lot of our people will say, well, I don't really care about that. You know, I don't care about the color. You know, all I know is that he's the savior. It don't matter what his name is. Well, it does matter. The heathens are smart. If the heathens can get you to celebrate Easter and call upon a Zeus and celebrate a white man, they've got you. They got 90% of their battles already won. And see, and Satan is a trickster because if he can get you tricked and making you believe that it doesn't matter what the name is, it doesn't matter what the color, then you deceived. Because the heathens know what color their God is. All right. And this is, I mean, I'm just telling you the straight up truth. You know our God, our God don't look like our Abba don't look like this.
God.
Our Abba is black. Yahuah is black. Like his people. Like the ones he gave the law to. This is a created being created by the Europeans because they didn't have no God like us. All right. So they had to make up one. And these people ain't nothing but slaves on the loose. That's it. It's slaves on the loose. When they got our people, look at that, y'all. They got our people worshiping And this is the image you're gonna see in all these churches tomorrow. And you're gonna have our people sitting there front and center, sitting up there with a white Zeus on a stained glass window. Not even. Hey, look, they're not gonna even dare to challenge it.
You're not supposed to have any idols, right, or any likeness of anything above, or you're not supposed to pray any likeness of the Hamashiach or the Most High, right? So any kind of image that you see or anything like this is wickedness, period. You're not even supposed to see an image of the Hamashiach. It's supposed to be a cloud in your mind until you actually see him.
And that's not even close to being a picture of a Hamashiach, you know what I'm saying?
God.
That's just a doggone idol, but our people are just, you know, our people will sit there and associate that with Hamashiach. Oh man, when we gonna ever learn?
We don't. Right, we don't. It says a lot's going to be a lot going to be destroyed.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to help the folks that can, right? So check this out, Israel. Like I said, man, these folks, right? They don't even. This is how you know they're not the real people, right? They're not the real people, right? You wear that little stupid kufi thing or whatever, that little, little miniature teacup, you know what I'm saying, that's on your head in the back, right? And you fail to understand that Hamashiach is the one that's in the Torah. I mean, like, how can you be the people and you don't believe in Hamashiach? You know what I'm saying? That stuff is, it's absolutely wild. But hey man, listen to this fool, right? Listen to this fool.
Jewish point of view, where we don't believe in the divinity of Christ. I think that there you can make an argument that the Gospels, which were written,
he was just a prophet. Right?
No. We don't even believe he was a prophet.
What do you think he was? What do you guys think?
What do I think he was historically? I think he was a Jew who tried to lead a revolt against the Romans and got killed for his trouble, just like a lot of other Jews at that time who were crucified for trying to lead revolts against the Roman and got killed for their trouble.
So he became legend in story, and it became a bigger and bigger deal as time went on.
Yeah, he had a group of followers, and then that gradually grew, and then
do you think he was resurrected?
No, that's not.
This man called the 12 disciples a group of followers. When the 12 pillars are going to be named, the 12 gates are going to have the 12 apostles' names written on it. Man, that's crazy. That's crazy.
And see,
he had a bunch of followers.
This has been Sharpio guy, man. That guy's a heathen, man. He don't even matter.
But I'm saying, like, these are the people that are claiming to be you, right?
Yep.
So hold on. I just want to play some more of this doctrine.
We're not in the miracle stories. No, that's no.
You don't have any miracles?
No, not by Jesus. Right? No? They're ones in the Old Testament.
Yeah,
you've got Moses splitting the sea and all that.
What do you think happened there?
What do I think happened there?
Yeah.
Well, I'll go with the Maimonidean explanation that there was. It says in the Bible there was a strong east wind. So there's a naturalistic explanation for a physical phenomenon.
Wow. Right. So even in believing in the Most High God, that heathen just then said that it was a natural phenomenon and the Most High God didn't split the sea. That's Israel, right? We got to take back our power. Right? Yeah. Don't worry about them being in the land, or any of that stuff. They're going to be destroyed. This is why it's important and it's imperative for you to do what you're supposed to do, right? To get these feast days right? To obey the laws, statutes, and commandments. Spread the truth, spread the gospel, tell your brothers, rebuke the wicked, right? Help the poor. Help the true widow. Man, these heathens are something else.
Yeah, I'm not even worried about, man, because like that dude, Sharpio, something like that. I forgot his name, but
yeah, Ben Shapiro.
Man, Ben Shapiro. They don't matter. They don't even matter, man. They sit up there and but already the Most High is exposing them. He's exposing everything that's going on in Israel, man. It's a done deal, y'all. We already know that America is falling faster than we can even imagine. It's getting worse and worse. So that's why, again, it all boils down to keeping these commandments, making haste to keep these commandments, because that's all it's going to matter. You got our people out there chasing some eclipse, man. They've been doing this every year. An eclipse has been happening for thousands of years. It's a natural occurrence that happens when the moon catches up to the sun. All right, it's the part of the luminaries. But yet the heathens got our people all out on the side of the roads, man, trying to chase an eclipse.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got people coming up with all kinds of, because it sells. It sells in social media. Views get more money. The more views, the more money people get. So guess what? our people are going to be out front and center with this BS. But keep the commandments, and live. That's what matters.
That's
All right. Occupy until he comes. Go get a trade or something. There's ways that you can improve yourself. All right. So you can try to, you can work for yourself instead of working for these heathens.
Israel, there's a lot of false doctrine, right? There's a lot of false doctrine, and then that's a lot of confusion, right, that we see over here. Especially like if you're paying attention to any social media stuff or any other crazy stuff, right? There's always a lot of pulls where it seems like somebody's saying something good and something right. We have to stay away from that stuff, right? We can't love the world. We got to stay within the scriptures, right? Just because it looks good that Candace Owens is trying to come to the black sector or whatever. At the end of the day, she's still a bed wench for the heathen, right? These things are not fruitful for us as a people, right? We have to stay within the laws, statutes, and commandments at all times and eschew wickedness of all types. Period. Right? Somebody can't be, you just can't listen to them at all, right? They can't be homosexual and then you listen to a person and think they're thinking is okay, right? Anything that comes out of their mouth is backwards, right? Because they don't have their mind is not right, and that goes with all wickedness, right? That goes with all wickedness. If you see a situation that's going on, right, and you be like, well, I can't listen to that. That's just like eating a poison apple, right? I'm not going to do that, right? Because some kind of way there's going to be some kind of wickedness that's going to be able to creep in, right? It's just,
and that's why,
Go ahead, Doc. Go ahead.
And that is why spiritual discernment is so important. Again, it goes back to keeping the laws, because keeping the laws is the commandment of doctrine of life. All right. And that's why so many of our people get caught up in all these side doctrines. Because first of all, social media, man, that's a drag. And but all the stuff that's out there is so easy for our people to get distracted. And you get some of our brothers and sisters out there that are weak in the faith, they ready, they'll follow anything, and they see something like that. You got somebody talking about they had a dream saying this was going to happen on this certain day, and all of a sudden you got our people believing that stuff. And the folks that's saying that, they ain't even keeping the commandments and don't even know the scriptures themselves. So it's like the social media, the whole spectrum is just the blind leading the blind.
God.
Turn off that thing, pick up the scriptures, get a coordinates. And now these days you got technology, you can go online on the coordinates and start studying these scriptures. Even if you stay on the 2 scriptures for 3 hours, whatever, and that's better than dabbling in all kinds of poison and wicked doctrines and just leading you astray and confusing your mind. Because I get stuff all the time in the email. What do you think about this? What do you think about this? I gotta look, y'all need to put that stuff down, pick up the scriptures, and keep these commandments. Because y'all, you got our people out here chasing signs in the heavens, but don't want to keep the commandments. When the scripture, when Jeremiah tells us, learn not the way of the heathen. All right.
That's right, man. God.
So brother got something.
God.
Yeah, you got something, but probably after this, y'all, we're gonna shut it down. Let everybody get back to their Passover.
I want y'all to be in the spirit right here, Israel. Right, this is the spirit of deliverance, right? This is the spirit that all our people need to be in, right? Because right now we're doing a lot of wickedness and we're, turning against each other. It says, "Thou shalt not rise a false report," because our people are famous for doing that. "Put not thine hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness." Right? That means, right, sisters and brothers, if you see wickedness, right, don't follow behind it. Right? Don't try to say it's okay or try to justify it. Right? Rebuke them. It says, "Thou shalt not follow the multitude to do evil. Neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment." Right? So we got to stop persecuting the wicked. We got to stop persecuting the righteous. as
That's
a
right.
people, man. You see somebody trying to do good, right? Big them up, right? Don't try to kick them. Don't try to hold them down, man. Be happy that they're, getting married, or they're doing what they're supposed to, and they're,
That's right.
working hard for their family. All right. It said, neither shall thou countenance a poor man in his cause, right? You see a brother trying, hey, man, don't kick him while he's down, right? Give him encouragement. Boost that brother up. If thou meet thy enemy's ox, right? If thou meet thy enemy's ox, right? A brother that you don't like, right? Or his ass going astray, thou shalt surely bring it back to him again. That is that right there, explanation in itself. And if thou see his ass of him, he that hateth thee lying under his burden, and wouldest forbear to help him, thou shalt surely help with him. All right. That means that what? We're supposed to help our people out, even if you don't like them, right? If they need help, right? Because what? You're supposed to treat your brother like you want to treat yourself.
Yep.
All right, Israel, let's get in the spirit, right? Let's get in the spirit of charity. Go ahead, Doc.
That's right, Israel. So, hey, first feast of the year of a bit. And look, take this seriously. You use this time to teach your children, your nieces, your nephews, your family members, your neighbors, your co-workers. And the good thing about this calendar is that you can use this because it's already planned a whole year out. So you know what Shabbats you need to take off. You can give this to your supervisor or your boss. Like, hey, these are the days I need to take off. Bam, you got something right here. This is right here is what you need. All right. And there's laws that protect against your faith, So, use that if they try to give you issues and they don't want to give you a day off. They have to give you a day off or whatever, or a day that's required for your faith belief. All right. So don't let them lock you or bend you over into telling you that you can't take those days off. All right.
All the days are on the brother JP. All the days are on the calendar. You don't even got to count. We already did the counting for you, brother.
Yep.
All you gotta do is just check the calendar. It's on there. We got everything on there. All right. We went through. We did all the work. We've been doing this for years. I want y'all to make sure y'all go in there and check it. Can y'all post the calendar? That's not a video, so I can print it. If you go on there, right, we got a link posted on there so you can download it.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah,
if you have an Apple phone, you probably can you download it on the Apple phone?
It's you have to use a computer. I don't know.
Yeah.
Apple phones are weird like that. So yeah, if you make sure you use a computer when you download it. But you can go to my Shabbat post. I have the link on there. You can go to Brother Aton's page, the Mind of the Brotherhood. Just look for the video. Then you'll see the link in the comment section, and all you gotta do is just download the link in the description box. That's all you gotta do. Yep.
If you have an Android, you can download it, no problem.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yep. He says, "Yep, mine's downloaded." So that's good. That's good, Israel. Yeah, download that calendar, study it. I know some of you got iPads and what have you. Take it to like what you call. You could take it to a little printing shop. Get them printed out. Put them on your refrigerator. That way you have it. I got mine posted right next to my office, so I can see that every day.
Okay. Hey, look at there. Right. I think brother Elijah has he got a workaround. He says that you can download it to your iPhone, but only through the Your Files app. Okay.
Okay.
So that looks like it's going to be a workaround for you, ladies and gentlemen, with a iPhone, right? Brothers and sisters with an iPhone, right? That's going to be your workaround. I appreciate that, brother Elijah.
Yep, appreciate that.
All right.
All right. And if you have any questions, Yashirel, you can always email us at the Mind of the Brotherhood. So we have our phones with us, and we check that. Anytime we get a message, we get an alert. All right, all praises. I got it as a PDF. Yep. That's where you download it as a PDF. Well, all right, Yashirel. Hey, pray that you have a rest of a good Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And just remember, every day that goes by, this is the holy day until sunset tomorrow. Remnants, Get into those scriptures. Use these 7 days to learn, to study, and thank the Most High. Because I'm telling you, we don't deserve anything, but the Most High has chosen us as His people, and we need to start living royalty. We need to be in these scriptures. We need to be making haste to keep these commandments, no matter what. Take this time to go get fringes. All right.
Well, after sundown tomorrow, nobody's
after sundown.
Sundown tomorrow, right?
Yep.
Remember, right?
Now, if you already got fringes and you got a sewing machine, now you can't sew them on. All right, you can sew them on, but
that's
don't
right.
buy any on the Shabbat. But all right, Israel.
All right,
we're gonna bid you a happy Passover and a happy Feast of Unleavened Bread. And by the grace of the Most High, we'll see you soon. So we're going to happy Passover, Shabbat Shalom.
Stay strong, Israel. Happy Shabbat. Shalom and stay strong.
Stay strong.